What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. That's Raw's go-home show for Clash at the Castle. That's not all, as the Red Brand presents the finals for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE want Braun Strowman back, a controversial former WWE wrestler is arrested, a top star gets his name back, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our own wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a brilliant build-up. The WWE gave the Judgment Day a competitive match, and while AJ Styles could have fared better with a partner besides Dolph Ziggler, the match accomplished its purpose, showing that the Judgment Day are a threat to the WWE's assorted superstars. Number 2, a classic call-out. A Judgment Day calling out Edge was an example of a heel taking refuge in numbers and a babyface stepping up to the plate. Edge's promo on the Judgment Day and his trickery in luring Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor into an ambush was a great way to continue the build-up for their feud, as well as to explore the intriguing storyline of how Rhea Ripley has Dominic Mysterio under her spell. Number 3, the mystery. And what's going on with Dexter Lumis' kidnapping of The Miz, and why didn't The Miz press charges? While the announcers got a bit heavy-handed by repeatedly asking how Lumis was able to breach security, this is professional wrestling, so storytelling subtlety is rarely to be found. Number 4, if you mess with the Kurt, you want to get hurt. A Kurt Angle received a hero's welcome in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and unlike the old regime, Angle didn't end up eating a mandible claw or jobbing out at Baron Corbin in his retirement match. The WWE kept things dicey by having Alpha Academy interrupt the WWE's Olympic hero, a superb setup for the Street Profits match against Chad Otis. The added stipulation that Angle would have to join the Alpha Academy if Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins lost was another incentive for fans to stick around, a reminder of how even a slight variation in a match can improve it. Ultimately, the match was a showcase as the WWE gave both teams a chance to put on a clinic and have the Profits save Angle from having to join the Academy. Kurt's appearance was capped off with a dashing of nostalgia as he indulged in a post-match celebration that included a copious consumption of milk. Number 5, this is 2022. Edge telling Damian Priest that it's 2022 so he doesn't mind wearing the pants with his wife Beth Phoenix was a good way to reinforce babyfaces showing what a real man is, something that added an admirable layer to Edge's character. Number 7, stepping outside the box. Our fans have seen parking lot brawls before, but last night's pre-show confrontation between Riddle and Seth Rollins seemed more organic, a reminder of how the WWE is working to make so-called surprise encounters seem chaotic without the benefit of a full camera crew on hand to cover everything. Number 7, Rollins presses Riddle's buttons. Last night's exchange between Riddle and Rollins was decent, with Rollins all about dismissing Riddle's and establishing he's setting his sights on the Universal Championship. The Visionary may get ahead of himself, but he wouldn't be an arrogant heel if he didn't overlook Riddle. But as good as it was just the beginning, as Riddle told Rollins that the only man in Rollins' family is Becky. Riddle's cheap shot seemed out of character, but the segment went the next level when the cameras returned and Rollins called out Riddle for bringing up his wife, especially since Riddle just went through a divorce where his wife and family left him. Riddle's profanity-laced rant on Rollins showed how playing on wrestlers' private lives can work if it's handled with precision. Once again, Rollins' mind games look like they've given him the added advantage in his feud with Riddle, another reason why Rollins is Raw's top heel. Number 8, what's past is prologue. The WWE truly dug deep into its history, beginning with the backstage bit where Edge teased Kurt Angle with his old trick of having Angle look at photos with embarrassing messages on the back. Wrestlers past came up again when the announcers reminded the fans of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' deep friendship, and KO saying why he's degrading himself by serving as the Bloodline's clown. Later, Johnny Gargano talked about how happy he is for Theory's success, especially since they spent so much time together in NXT. It's refreshing to see the WWE acknowledging wrestlers past, because it can add to the storylines and give long-time viewers the sense that WWE isn't ignoring their loyalty. Number 9, Kevin Owens stands alone. Now, whether you like him or dislike him, you've got to admire Kevin Owens' guts and willingness to stand up to anyone, babyface or heel. Last night's confrontation between Owens and the Usos was exciting as KO told Jay and Jimmy to tell their boss he owes them. He also said that he hasn't forgotten about Paul Heyman and Jay costing him the Universal Championship at 2021's Royal Rumble. And a good home show. At first, Raw might not have seemed like a good go-home show for Clash at the Castle, but up until last night, there were only 2 Raw matches on the card. The WWE did well to hype Seth vs Riddle, the women's 6-person match, and later Edge and Rey Mysterio vs Damian Priest and Finn Balor. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number one, a squash is still a squash. Does the WWE need to establish that Bianca Belair, Asuka and Alexa Bliss can function as a team? Well, not really, particularly since both Asuka and Alexa are former tag team champions and have teamed together, not to mention all three women's past women's title reigns. This meaningless match between the three and local talents was a waste of time, and the babyfaces promo was all they needed to hype their 6-person tag match against Bayley, Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Number 2, corny AF. As intriguing as the mixed Dexter Lumis story started off, it's quickly turning into a corny storyline evocative of WCW stupid storytelling, where Hulk Hogan hallucinated that he saw the Ultimate Warrior who he was feuding with. The WWE needs to get this storyline together, as it's taking away from the rest of the show's overall quality. Number 3, Gargano looks like a loser. Johnny Gargano came off looking like a loser both during his interview and later when he exchanged words with Theory. Gargano saying that he had to start from the bottom while Theory had the advantage of genetics made him sound like the jealous man Theory accused him of being. Not the best way to get a babyface over. And number 4, a mediocre main event. As bad news for Triple H, as last night he took his first L. And the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship tournament has been far more entertaining than anyone would have expected. Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky had to give fans hope that the WWE is treating its tag titles with respect. However, the finals match failed because number 1, it was a repeat of the SmackDown semi-finals match where Raquel Rodriguez had to work most of the match due to Aaliyah being taken out, and number 2, the match ran too short for something that was billed as a big deal. While some fans may be angry or disappointed that Naomi and Sasha Banks didn't show up, kudos to the WWE for not rushing them back and giving the new tag champs time to celebrate so Naomi and Sasha Banks can spoil their win. Well, that's if it is WWE's plan. Now, there was nothing downright ugly as Raw put on an exciting show that was good on its own, but also hyped the fans for Saturday's Clash at the Castle. The WWE's layered long-term storytelling is paying off with interesting angles that led to exciting matches. What you guys think of Raw this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at WWE interested in bringing back Braun Strowman. At top of the news today is a report that WWE may be interested in bringing back former Universal Champion Braun Strowman. Fightful Select reports former Universal Champion Braun Strowman is being considered for a WWE return. Among names pitched or discussed for a WWE return include Braun Strowman. Strowman was repeatedly earning $1 million a year when he worked in the WWE, a salary that may have seemed too high at the time. The monster among men was booked erratically in the WWE, with Strowman's supporters criticizing the company's frequent turns of his persona and putting him to programs with mid-card opponents. Do you think WWE should bring him back though? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a controversial former WWE wrestler arrested. I'll scratch off any comeback for Velveteen Dream, as Velveteen Dream has been arrested. The initial details were sketchy, with Wrestling News reporting former WWE star The Velveteen Dream, real name Patrick Clark, was arrested on Friday 26 August in Orange County, Florida. There aren't many details available, but county records say that he was charged on an out-of-county warrant for possession of drug paraphernalia. As reported by PW Insider, Stark was arrested earlier this month. According to court records, Clark was also arrested by Orlando police on 20th August first-degree battery and trespassing after being given a warning. Both charges are first-degree misdemeanors. Next up, Raquel Rodriguez getting a monster push. Raquel Rodriguez's Women's Tag Team Championship win with Aaliyah may only be the beginning of a big push for her, at least if Dave Meltzer's recent comments on the Wrestling Observer Radio are correct. They're trying to get Raquel Rodriguez as a big star. I mean, that is one of the things that they're trying to do right now, and Aaliyah is sort of along or on the right, I suppose. Meltzer commented that he thinks Raquel and Aaliyah's win was done to surprise the fans, as he sees Naomi and Sasha vs Dakota and Io Sky as a better match. And finally, Riddle is back. And last but not least, Matt Riddle is back. Now, we're not referring to the Ultimate Bro's return from his storyline injury at the hands of Seth Rollins, but the WWE's Corey Graves referring to him as Matt Riddle. Wrestling Inc. pointed out, although not confirmed by WWE's roster page, WWE's official Twitter account also referred to Riddle as Matt Riddle in this video clip posted shortly after his segment. But there you have it guys, the good, the bad and the downright ugly of this week's Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.